Good evening, my name is Kamps. I'm with Beyond Nuclear, based in Tacoma Park. After 50 years of receiving the lion's share of public support in the electricity sector, while only providing 20% or less of our electricity, none of our transport, and none of our heating, the nuclear power industry should be required to stand on its own 2 feet in the marketplace. Real solutions for the climate crisis include safe and clean energy efficiency and renewable electricity sources such as wind and solar power. These have been neglected for decades and urgently deserve more support than dirty and dangerous nuclear power. And in regards to jobs, the Blue-Green Alliance, which is an alliance of the Sierra Club and the U.S. Steelworkers Union, estimates that 35,000 to 65,000 permanent jobs are obtainable in Michigan via wind power, solar, geothermal, biomass, wave, tidal, genuine renewable green-collar jobs. This compared to the 400 to 700 jobs at Fermi 3 that were mentioned by previous speakers. Amory Levins at the Rocky Mountain Institute has shown that energy efficiency is 7 to 10 times more cost-effective than nuclear power at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Fermi 3 would provide 1,550 megawatts of electricity. If you look at all the nuclear power in Michigan, currently in Michigan, Fermi 2, Palisades, Cook Units 1 and 2, although one of those units at Cook is down for a year or more at this point due to a turbine accident. If you add up all the nuclear power currently in Michigan, 4,000 megawatts of electricity. Compare that to the 16,000 megawatts of potential wind power identified in Michigan on land. Compare that to the 320,000 megawatts of wind power available to Michigan offshore in the Great Lakes. Tremendous potential for wind power in this state. In terms of jobs, where would those jobs actually be associated with Fermi 3? GE Hitachi, the originator of the ESBWR design, is a Japanese corporation. Fermi 3's reactor pressure vessel and other large components would likely be manufactured at Japan's steelworks, which is one of the only facilities on the planet that can make such large nuclear components. In terms of energy independence and ending our dependence on foreign oil, only 1 to 2% of our electricity in the United States comes from burning oil, so this is an apples and oranges comparison. And then look at where our uranium comes from. For the past decade and more, 50% of U.S. nuclear fuel, the uranium that goes into it, has come from Russia. Given current headlines about Russian power politics cutting off natural gas supplies to Europe, how smart is that to rely on Russia like that? Other U.S. uranium supplies come from indigenous peoples' lands in places like Canada and Australia and the Navajo and Pueblo lands of the desert Southwest, associated with many environmental justice violations. For a final point, I'd like to talk about the secrecy issue regarding this Saturday deadline for us to apply for access to sensitive information. So sensitive, safeguards, classified, nuclear power is apparently inherently unsafe and insecure. It's also incompatible with the transparency that is essential to genuine democratic decision-making. Thank you.